What's going on, Team MK? Today we are going to work on a shoulder routine for today's stretch and release. This is Coach Adam. If you have a lacrosse ball, tennis ball, softball, anything, we are going to use this today for our workout. So first we're going to start out with some soft tissue work. I want you to lie on your back, and the first area we're going to target is right inside the shoulder blade. So what we want to do is go just off center to that spine, right inside that nice big shoulder blade that sits on the back of the shoulder here. And all we're going to do is just start with a little bit of light pressure on that lacrosse ball. We're going to kind of wiggle our body so that we're pretty much directly in the center. And then what I want you to do is I want you to really soften that breath. Take that big breath in. Big exhale. Try to sink that body onto that lacrosse ball there. Smush it into the floor. Take another deep breath in. And big exhale. Good. I want you to do the same thing, but only about an inch or two up or below, depending on where that lacrosse ball is. I'm going to slide mine down just a couple inches and do the same thing. Nice big breath in. Big exhale. So what we want to do is desensitize that area. Allow that pressure to sink in nice and deep. Excellent. Now I'm going to slide that ball all the way up into my trap. That trap is a large muscle that's going to run all the way down the neck, across the shoulder, and back into the spine. We're going to work the upper part of that trap there. So if you go just off center to the neck, we're still right above that shoulder blade. I'm going to place that ball right on top there. From here, I'm going to go ahead and just open up my hands, set my feet underneath me, and I'm going to come up into a nice gentle glute bridge. You're going to notice that's going to get a little bit more intense through that glute bridge. If you need to bring it down and relax, then ease back into it. So the next thing we're going to do is bring those hips back down to the floor, and we're going to incorporate a little bit of movement. So I'm going to bring my feet down and wide so I have a little bit of balance. We're going to take this hand that's on the same side of the lacrosse ball. I want you to bring it from the opposite hip all the way overhead. And what we're going to do is a little cross body chop here. So getting some feedback into that trap as we incorporate a little bit of motion and movement. You want to make it a little bit more intense. You can come up into that glute bridge. Woo! Might feel it a little bit more, diving deep into those tissues, feeling that tissue glide as that arm comes across. Next one, same arm. This time we're going to lay it close to the floor, and I want you to treat it like a single arm shoulder press. So we're going to slide that hand across, reach all the way overhead, and then we're going to bring that elbow down. Some of you, if you have limited external rotation, you're going to be up here. That's okay. I want you to go until you find that tension point, hold, and then bring it back down. If you want to add a little bit, come up into that glute bridge to create a little bit more targeted pressure. And relax. Excellent. Let's do the same thing on the other side. First, we're going to target that rhomboid, which is going to be just between shoulder blade and spine. Again, I want you to just kind of center yourself on there. Relax onto the ball, nice and soft. If you need to ease on off of it, you can go off to the side here. A lot of different options. Maybe if you got a softball or hard tennis, golf ball, or whatnot, you can play around with those. So again, working that breath, take that big breath in. Big exhale. We're going to shimmy that ball a little higher and lower. I want you to again soften that breath, really try to sink down into that ball, make that body nice and heavy. Nice big deep breaths. Let's take one more. Pushing into that ball, maybe moving around just a little bit. Good. We're going to move that ball back into that upper trap just a little bit higher. Sometimes it's easier if you just start from the top. Roll onto the ball from there. From here, we're going to lay the back of the hands flat. And you can either hang out here pushing down into that ball, or start to hover the hips Up into a nice slow glute bridge. That left side's a little tender. So we have a couple things, upper trap. You've also got your levator scapulae, which runs from that shoulder blade all the way up to the spine of the neck. I'm gonna ease on off of that. So that's another area for sometimes a little bit of attention that might need a little bit of deep tissue work that this lacrosse ball provides. From here, let's go cross body chop. I'm gonna lay the legs down, ease onto that ball. We're gonna keep that arm nice and straight. Go across to the opposite hip. Bring it all the way back overhead. So we got shoulder flexion. Bringing it back down to the hip. Flexing overhead. We're gonna go just a few passes up and down here. Good, next one, let's go overhead, like shoulder press, reaching up. Stopping at that point of tension, that for you might be halfway, it might be fully locked out. You can adjust that ball, see if you get a different response. But I want you to keep that arm as close to the floor as you can get it. And relax, excellent. All right, roll those shoulders out. We're gonna toss that lacrosse ball up to the side. First one, we're gonna do a nice little stretch called a front rack stretch. I like to use my PVC pipe for this, so what I'm gonna do is crisscross the hands. I'm gonna lay the hands right on top of the back of the shoulders. And from here, I'm gonna use a bench, couch, chair, whatever you have available. And we're gonna drop down so that my elbows are on the bench and my head's hanging down low. You can also utilize that floor here. Same thing, treat it like you would a child's pose, only we're gonna bend those elbows and kind of pull away. So a couple different options. I want you to hang out here for about 20 more seconds. Try to work that breath. Sink lower and lower down towards the floor. So as I exhale, I'm going to relax through the shoulders, relax through the back. Five seconds. And good. All right, we're going to slide that chair, couch, bench out of the way. All right, next one, we're going to make it a little bit more dynamic. I want you to take a wide grip on here. We're going to do some pass-throughs. So what I want you to do is take that bar all the way overhead. We're going to come around the back and all the way through. If you get to here and you're stuck, what I want you to try to do, bring those hands a little wider. See if you can make that pass through all the way. If you don't have a long enough broomstick dowel rod, what I want you to do is just go to that sticking point and come back down. This exercise is really easy and you're like, Adam, I can do this all day, no big deal. Walk those hands in, inch by inch. Find that sticking point. Get those shoulders nice and loose. Perfect. Next one, we're going to do some halos. Go around the world all the way through. I want you to keep those arms as straight as you can. You can go slight bend of that elbow as you bring that all the way back and around. We're going to do about 6 to 8. One direction. Switch it up. 6 to 8, opposite direction. I want you to really reach that arm through. Get those shoulders nice and loose. And good. Last one, a little bit of strength and a dynamic warm-up. We're going to do some plank walkouts to finish out. I want you to slide all that equipment out of the way. All right, from here, we're going to take the hands down. I want you to keep those elbows locked out. Spread the palms wide. We're going to walk it out. From here, we're going to come into down dog, tuck that chin. We're going to come back into plank. And from here, I'm going to press through those hands, come all the way back up. We're going to do that 3 times. Start in that plank. Drive the chin down towards the toes. Come back to that plank. So a little more of a horizontal push. From here, I'm going to push with the hands. Come all the way back to the top. Last time here, low roll up top. Shaking those shoulders loose. Set that plank belly tight. Hips to sky, legs locked out. Back into plank. Final one. Bring him back up. Excellent. We're going to finish off with some arm swings. Awesome work today. Appreciate you guys sticking around for stretch and release. We got those shoulders all warmed up and ready to go for the week. Stay tuned for more classes. Thank you guys.